Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. We are
Hi.
recording now. That's awesome.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We were frozen for a
So,
second there. But hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I
How's your
am
new
good.
year going so far?
Hmm. I am super excited to be in the new year, even though I kind of believe the new year starts around March. But, for the sake
Mhm.
of this conversation, I'm excited for the new year. I feel hopeful and that new things will be coming our way. Um, but also at the same time, there's a lot of shifts going on that are kind of disruptive and really have me questioning older versions of myself when they try to come back up and they're like, oh, you're not worthy or you're not good enough. And I'm having to really
Mhm.
focus hard to use the new me versus the old me. And yeah, but I think that's what New Year's all about, shedding
Mhm.
the old and bringing in the new. What about you?
I think so too. I think it's the same for me. Every end of the year, I kind of get an idea about maybe looking at the new year as what would I like to delete that's not really adding value to my life, and what do I want to add to my life
Right?
to add value. Those are things I ask myself every year, and so yeah. So this year I'm starting different things and getting a little bit more involved with different things that I haven't really been too involved with. Without going into much detail, it's getting involved with civic minded activities and certain groups, and actually looking at perhaps joining an all women's choir. And I love singing.
I love that. I know that for
So,
you, being proactive and doing things to help change what's going on in the world right now is very important. And I love that you're proactive like that. Um, and joining
mm,
a women's choir, wow, how fun to be
so
surrounded with other women and just using that part of your soul's expression to just put energy and positive energy into the world. I love that.
absolutely. The last time I sang in a choir was when I was a little younger in church, in a church choir. And I haven't really sang since. I sing all the time. I hum, I sing. And my husband says, you should go join a choir or something, or, go sing. You have a good
That would be
voice.
fun.
So there's
Yes.
something spiritual about it too for me, that
Well,
it's
so
big.
metaphysically, combining metaphysics physics and the physical somatics of the body and
Hmm.
even psychology, if you kind of combine all of those three together, singing and humming and vibrating of the body is actually divinely healing. It not only physically heals the body, but it also puts us in connection with our higher source and our God or, source energy. And so for
Hmm.
you to say that, it's right on point.
Absolutely. And it feeds into self-care and self-worth, which is part of this work that you and I have been talking about, and we're now moving into doing foundational work, the chakras. And Don and I both spoke about changing course a little bit. You want to share a little more about what we're thinking?
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad you brought it up. So we've been doing the some fourth step from Al-Anon's fourth step in inventory, and not specifically because we were only wanting to do step work, just because both Melissa and I found so much value in this fourth step, and just rewording it and reworking it so that it works for you, but allows you to work through the self accountability and taking that self inventory. But both of us are starting to kind of feel more of a soul's urge pull towards working on the energy systems of the body, the chakra systems, and how they affect us. And so both of us happen to have that great book. Do you have yours right with you?
I
We
do.
both happen to have True Balance. It is a
Hmm.
wonderful book, and it is by, let's see if I can say it correctly, Sonia Choquet or Choc it
I think
looks French or
it's
something.
she's French Canadian. I think it's
Coquette?
show.
Is it coquette?
I think it's okay. I think it's been a while since I had French, so
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But the idea, I think, really is, gosh, if I don't know if you've seen her videos, but she's been around for quite a while, and I really love this. It's a common sense guide for renewing your spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so we thought, nice direction to go into.
yeah, I think so. And it's not because this isn't a valid, what we're doing isn't already valid, but I just think if we're both feeling that intuitive pull towards it, I'm gonna just say, let's go for it. I don't believe our intuitions very often led us wrong, so we'll
Mm-mm.
go for that.
So yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what we wanted to do as far as do we want to go ahead and do the reader at all? Probably, maybe still do that. I don't know. What are your
Sure, go ahead.
thoughts?
Let's do a reader today, and then we will finish up the questions from what we were already doing in self-worth.
Uh-huh.
And we'll finish that up today and complete out what we started. And then
Hmm.
next week we will be coming in with more information on the chakra systems from True Balance. If you want to get the book, I got mine on thriftbooks.com. I think it was like
Hmm.
$8 or $9 on
Hmm.
thriftbooks.com. And this is the one you would be looking for if you want to follow along with us. If not, just come and visit and hang out and listen to our chit chat with two women healing out loud together.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. Get yourself comfortable. And if you want, you can grab some pieces, you can grab a piece of paper or just listen and see what comes up for you. The title is January 8th, Letting Go to Save Our Lives. And again, this is from Melody Beattie's Language Letting Go, 365 New Daily Meditations by
Can you
her.
hold that up again for one more second?
Sure.
All right, thank you for
Uh-huh.
myself, but also for anybody
For
else who
other,
might. Yeah, yeah, I love
yeah.
that.
It's
It's time
Hazelton.
for me to get a new reader, so I think,
Oh, is it? Okay, so Hazelton meditation series.
okay.
And I really find a lot of value in her because she's gone through so much. And oh, gosh, there usually the message I read is kind of perfect for the day. I've noticed. I don't know about when you've done readers before, but for me, it's like, oh wow, this is kind of a door that's opening. So here we go. Letting go to save our lives is the title. I crouched in the doorway of the airplane next to my skydiving coach. I held onto the doorway with my right hand for balance. With my left hand, I firmly grasped my coach's gripper and padded piece of cloth on his jumpsuit. It was up to me to give the count. Ready? I hollered. Set. I backed up and took another breath. Ready? Set. It gives me goosebumps. I heard a snicker. Get out of the plane, someone hollered. Go. I released my grip on the door, closed my eyes, and dived headfirst into the air with my left hand firmly attached to my jump master's gripper. We wobbled around for a moment. The plan was we would turn to face each other in the air. I would grab his other shoulder grip, get my balance, then I'd release him. He turned to face me. I grabbed his other grip. Now I was falling stable and holding on with both hands. He nodded. Give me my clue to let go. I shook my head carefully so as not to lose my balance. He looked confused, then nodded again. I shook my head again, clinging more tightly. I looked at my altimeter, 6,000 feet. Thank God. It was almost time to pull. I released my grips. I just let go. Obviously, I couldn't safely pull my rip cord while I was hanging on to him. It was time to save my own life. My coach backed away. I signaled, then pulled my ripcord. My parachute made that sweet whooshing sound, the one I had come to identify as the sound it makes when it opens correctly and fills with the air, slowing my fall into a float. Wow, I thought, this is really fun. Sometimes we're so scared, all we can think about is hang on, hanging on, hanging on. In the case we were both falling through the air, hanging on, holding on to a relationship, she says here. Maybe we hang on to relationships that aren't working. Maybe we're hanging on to negative self images of ourselves, a job that isn't working. Moments and times have passed, or emotions such as fear and hurt can be silly. To save our own life, sometimes we have to let go first.
Mm. So when you're first reading that,
Mm,
and you said, You said
Mm,
she was crouched down by her instructor. I like started getting panicky in my heart. I felt it in my stomach, in my heart. It was like this anxious because I'm so terrified of heights. Um,
mm.
and so I felt it, but also I felt this exhilaration, and it's like my imagination is so amazing. I was actually able to feel the wind on my face. I was able
Me
to hear
too.
hear the flapping of
Yes.
the parachute. It is so
Yes.
crazy how I could just really be there in that moment. And then when it was like it was time to let go, it was like that was the revelation. It was like I literally started this off saying how I'm still dealing with old parts of me and yet still wanting to be in that new part of me. And it's like, yeah, you just have to let it go. It's okay to have those memories and those feelings, but it's like I'm ready for a new cycle. I have to just kind of say, okay, but that's over now and move forward. And that is to save my life. It is time for me to save my life. So I love that.
It
What came up
is.
for you when you were reading that?
Oh, right away, I was there. So, goosebumps. I was in the air, 6,000 feet, clinging, clinging, clinging. No, don't let go, let go. Right? Wait. Again, I'm like you. I don't really like heights very much, especially being very high up in the sky. With that being said, I love the message behind trusting. That's what
Mm.
came up for me, trusting the right time to let go.
Oh,
Because we
that's big.
are powerful, right? And I think sometimes we forget and we put our power maybe into somebody else, propping us up, or we clinging to something or somebody, like she says, an old job or old belief system that, we're just comfortable with, but may not be
No,
good
I
for
agree
us
with
right
you.
now, you
I
know?
agree with you. And I was actually thinking this morning when I was in the shower. It's like, there are I can remember when I was younger, there was somebody very important to me in my life uh, who was a protective person or should have been a protective person. And I remember we did something and I was like, oh, when I finished, I went, good enough. And that person was like, good enough. Is that all you want to ever be is good enough? Don't you want to be better? I mean, they kind of just took something so
Mm,
insignificant at the moment to me. I was just happy to be done. And I did it. I thought I did a good job,
right.
and I feel like they kind of pushed it. But you know what? That pushed me to this point where my whole life I felt like I had to overexceed, overgive, overdo. And I can remember how that felt. And I was in the shower this morning and I was like, you know what? No, it is okay to be in a cycle of your life where you are just feeling like that's good enough. Because I think throughout life we go through times where sometimes you do need to push past good enough. And there are
Mm-hmm.
times where you're struggling and it's like, look, I'm just happy that I ate today. So that's
Right.
good enough. And to be able to just accept that the right time will happen when you need to release things instead of trying to push it and force it so much. So
Yeah,
that was really good that,
absolutely.
what we just heard. It's trusting the right time to let go
And
when
that's
it's right.
perfect.
Hmm.
That's like that goes right into what we were just talking about
Hmm.
transitioning into doing something. So letting go, not necessarily completely of the idea of fourth step inventory, but to let go of moving into the next direction to see where
Yes.
that takes us.
Yes. And the truth is, it's like, because there is this part of me that's like, oh, maybe we should finish the fourth step. Because the intention was to go through the whole book. But also, it's like, literally, we both walked in here with our True Balance books. We hadn't talked about that. We hadn't communicated previously about that. And we both
Uh-uh.
are like, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this step thing right now. And it was
Mm.
like, that's when you trust to let go. It's like, okay, we're going to say goodbye and move into the new thing.
That is beautiful. And for people who are listening, it was very ironic. And Don and I are super connected energetically,
Yes.
emotionally, spiritually. And for us to be walking in and with this book sitting right here, the same book,
Yep, at the
that
same time
is,
with the same intention to talk about it. And
mm-hmm,
you know what? It's also, I've noticed sometimes you'll message me, be like, hey, how are you? And I'll just be like, I'm not doing so good today. And you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling great today either. We are very energetically attached. And I do believe when you start forming authentic relationships with people,
mm-hmm.
that starts to happen. You start to feel them, even though you might not be aware that you're feeling them.
Oh my gosh. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So gosh, I mean, this is wonderful. Letting go and transitioning and moving in. So what we're hoping to do is we're going to finish out the self-worth. We have four
And into,
questions,
yeah, let's
and
do
then
that.
share the reflections of the whole self-worth journey. How about that?
That sounds great. So one of the questions we left off at, and just for anybody who did want to know, again, we were doing the blueprint for progress and we were in the self-worth section. So this is on page 17. But what we were finishing up with, the last four questions, the next one was, what about my education do I wish to was different and why?
Mm, hmm.
So Melissa, what about your education do you wish was different
I'm
and
trying to figure
why?
out where that is. Where is that? So I gotta
Page
have.
17.
I need my glasses on. A little dark in here. Let's see if I can. Is that too bright? That feels
No,
too bright. No?
no, it shifted it a little, but it's not too bright at all.
Okay. What do I wish that was different about my education on page
17,
17?
it's
Where?
like the third question down.
Third question two. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I highlighted it. Ah, it's been a little time here. Okay. What do I wish was different about my education? Hmm. Oh gosh. Well, um, that's a long journey. So the education for me, I wish like from kindergarten to 12th grade, and I'll take it way back, I wish that there was a different opportunity for someone like me to, because I have an ability to look at different perspectives. And so I was hoping that I would be introduced to lots of diverse way of learning and lots of
Mm,
diverse ways of looking at how we learn and what we learn. And for example, when we talk about science, it's not just out of the textbook and, study and take the test. It's about actually going outside and turning over the rocks and looking at what's under there and having conversations about what do you see. And so this was something I was hoping that was different, that it was more service learning, being
mm. And
outside more.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I do think we are transitioning into times like that now. You are seeing people who are incorporating more integration work, more physical
Mm-hmm.
in-person work, versus so just directly from a book and there's only one path. And, I do agree with you that
Yeah.
that's important.
The other parts, I was happy. I didn't have enough space to write all this, so I'm just verbatim. But the happy to be able to, in this wonderful country of ours, to be able to go to a junior college anywhere you lived. So I was happy to go to all the multiple junior colleges because I think for the longest time, I talked about this before. I had a heavy depression going on for a long, long time, and I felt like when I went to college, I wasn't so depressed. I saw the way it just made me wake up
Well,
and
there's more freedom
explore.
in college, and you were able to study when you wanted to study, as long as you had it in by a certain amount, and then you could bring in the resources you needed. So that's probably why it opened up things a little bit differently to
I
you.
oh for sure. I
Yeah.
just love the idea. And then universities. I went to different universities, and I think the idea was I was thinking I was supposed to go do something, and so I can make money. Go and be specific on your degree, and it wasn't. I just love social sciences, and I just love learning about the world, and so it was hard for me to choose. And
Hmm.
and I was glad to have
Instantly.
a career counselor at the university where once I finally got into study social science. She said, do something you really love and get good grades at it.
I love that. I love that.
So I did that. And I can't think of much other than, maybe down the road getting some more certifications. But, I thought about getting a PhD. But then you have to ask yourself another question. Do you want to get in debt?
Absolutely. And I think that
No.
that's a very valid thing. Like I'm going through that right now. It's like I really want to go back and I'm still between social work, sociology, and psychology. It's like this whole mess because I love all of those, the human sciences, the human behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like you, I just love to keep learning and keep learning. And people are like, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, take certifications. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
Um, but it is.
exactly.
I think about a 4-year degree and two
Mm-hmm.
years is it's like $36,000 a year for a 4-year degree. And that's not even what you're going to pay after 25 years of student loans. You're going to pay $500,000 for a 4-year degree, and you're only making a dollar or two. I mean, maybe five extra an hour. Is it really worth it? Isn't it better to just maybe take certifications or I don't know. I'm back and forth on that myself. Yeah.
Talking with someone who's on the other end of who has loans. Yeah. And now that we have so many different opportunities nowadays versus when I went through, we had so many certifications now.
Yep. Yep, I agree. I just think that we're opening it up, the studying, and that's one of the things that I wish was different is that things weren't all so linear. So this is the way it has to be done. We're going to train you to go be a worker slave for America and work the rest of your life and be in debt paying student loans the rest of your life. Because I was the same way. I didn't learn traditionally very well. I had to do it in my own pace. I'm traditionally struggle in the morning and I'm really sharp in the afternoon and evenings, and that's just not how it was in school. Yeah, and I'm also a more like a starburst. I want to learn 10 things at once instead of one thing linear. I'd fall asleep in class. It was so hard. And so for me, what do I wish was different? Same thing, probably different learning styles, different learning
Mm-hmm.
behaviors, but
Mm-hmm.
also that I took it more seriously. I think, and it's not that I didn't want to take it serious, it's because of those different things that made it hard for me to pay attention. They made it hard for me to learn. It was boring. I'm like, "Ah, I already understand all this. Can we move on?" Um, and I think that for me, being on the slight ADHD spectrum, it's like those are typical things. I also wish I would be able to continue it more. I wish a psychology degree and a sociology degree weren't going to cost me my blood and my soul, because I do want them. I do want them, but I'm just not sure I'm willing to put the money into them. It's not worth it, you
Yeah,
know?
I hear
So
you.
I'm with you on that. How much time do you spend alone, and what are some of the things you do when you're by yourself?
Mm, a lot of time alone. Okay, so comparatively, I don't know anyone besides my husband and I who spends so much time alone.
Have you found that spending time alone is something that maybe you feared in the past but now cherish?
Mm, that's interesting that you say. I have found that my own company was my best company for a long time because of the dysfunction all over the place growing
Hmm.
up. And so, and we've talked about the trees. So I would go out and climb the trees. And every time my mom wanted to take us to the church I never wanted to go to, basically get down from that tree. So there was a lot of peace when it was just me.
Yeah,
So I think, I don't know, over the years, and also I have done lots of retrospection as far as being, I go to great lengths to have a lot of quiet in peace and meditation time in my life because when I am on with helping others, I want to be there for
right.
them. And when I am done, say goodbye, I'm able to sit and meditate and
Process and
process.
shed their energy and pull yours back in. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really go a lot with the step work, but something,
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, you're a Pisces and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Cancer, and both are water signs. They're very emotionally driven. They're very in tune with their bodies and
Mm-hmm.
feelings and energies of other people. And I have similarly found that being alone, retreating back into my shell
Mm-hmm.
is my place of comfort. It is where I want to be. But I do love when I am spending time with other people and doing my groups and my one-on-one sessions. I find so much fulfillment from that. But
Mm-hmm.
similar to you, when I'm done, it's like, okay, I gotta shut down now because that's how I
Mm-hmm.
have to regenerate my energy. And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's just because we're water signs. I I did do reading on that somewhere that it
Oh.
is does have to do with the fact that we're water signs because I read that like air and fire signs need to be out to regenerate their body energy. They need to be
Mm-hmm.
out and doing things.
Yeah,
So,
generally that's true. I've noticed that
yeah.
with people with those different signs.
And earth
It
signs need to actually be out in the earth. They need to be
right.
mountain climbing or going, out in the
Yeah.
ocean, but they need to be in the earth to
Mm-hmm.
regenerate. So, Yeah, I took a course on that a while ago. It wasn't
So
like a
look at
certification
that.
course or anything, but it taught about how each sign processes their anger and processes shedding energy of other people. But
Oh my gosh. That'd be interesting to talk about
so,
sometime.
yeah. So, what are some of the other things you do though when you're by yourself?
Gosh, nothing really. Well, doing it by myself. When I'm out walking, I can do that. I do that by myself. When I'm reading, I'm by myself.
So you just are, you
I'm
just
just,
be.
I'm just are, just am. I just watch, maybe some movies or TV shows. I'm really into HGTV. I love building shows. I love,
My daughter
sweet,
loves that too.
sweet movies.
Yeah.
I don't participate really in any violence. I even save the ants.
Oh, I watched one the last 6 weeks that really took my mind to a different place. And ooh, yeah,
Oh,
it really I was so affected by it, but I already had
mm,
gotten into it that I had to know
I get
the
like that when
rest
I
of it.
start
And I'm like, oh, why'd I
watching.
do this to myself? Like I could feel it. I could feel all of it. I'd get angry
Yeah.
and rageful and hateful and oh, kill them. And then I'm like, Dawn, do you like being like this? No, but I have to know how the movie ends.
there's a really bad movie that I watched about 4 years ago that I still have nightmares about.
Oh, see, yep. And it's funny you say that because since I started watching this, I was starting to have nightmares too. So I think
Oh,
people need to take, whoever if you're watching right now, take
pay
that into
attention.
consideration. Art is what you're putting into your body, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're watching, because that's
Mm,
consumption as well. You're consuming
yes,
that. Is it
absolutely.
affecting you? Is it affecting your sleep, your thoughts, your moods? That's something to keep in
Hmm.
mind.
And what are some things you like to do?
So, I also am very content just being.
Yes.
And it took me a long time to really come to that conclusion that
Mm,
I used to think something was wrong with me because I'm supposed to be out there, I'm supposed to be doing, I'm supposed to be with everybody. And the truth is, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do what brings me peace. And what brings me peace is a good book and a cup of coffee or a nice movie or just listening to music and petting my cat,
hmm
stretching, just sitting down and doing some stretches. And
hmm
I'm just not that, no matter how hard I have tried to be this athletic, exercisey, fitnessy, I'm just not. I'm a soft girl and I just enjoy peace and softness.
That's not, isn't it nice to be able to talk about this to other people, to give other people ideas about how it is okay
Yeah,
to just
I absolutely agree with that.
be what works for us. This is important information, really, to allow yourself to be aware of what really works for you. Not, because there's other people in our lives that might tell us that you need this or you need that, or
My
this
whole
is how it
life.
works.
I'm sure
And
everybody watching this has felt the pressure of other people telling them what they should and shouldn't do and
right, but being
how they
quiet
should
long,
and shouldn't be.
right, should or shouldn't be, and
Hmm.
allowing ourselves to have quiet time then allows us to explore what
Yeah.
we really like doing and not doing.
Yes, absolutely. So the next question that I'm going to ask you from our book and then ask the viewer if they're still watching is to ask yourself, what do you like and not like about your body or physical appearance?
Hmm. What do I like or not like? Well, it's funny. I was just looking at my cottage cheese. My my brother-in-law calls my sister's thighs cottage cheese thighs because there's like little bumps on the side.
So what, you're a female that's human? Oh my gosh.
So I kind of joke about it, and now I don't see it in a harmful way because I just look at my thighs and I go, okay, cottage cheese thighs, and I laugh and I think it's awesome. I celebrate my thighs. So this is the one area. And of course, there's other areas like I've always been large chested, and so that got me in trouble a lot. Not really knowing and understanding that when I was younger, I got all this attention from a
Hmm.
lot of men, and they were not young men; they were older men,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. And so that there's some still to this day. I have some old memories and stuff that were not so fun, for me. Won't go too much into detail about it, but so with that, I have to say I'm going to switch it to the positives, and I am super happy with the length of my arms, my legs, my long waistedness, the long neck, the way my face looks. I mean, eyes, lips, nose. People used to tease me about my lips. They
For
used to
being
call me,
fuller lips. Yep,
yeah,
I
they call
used to
me
have that
fish
as,
lips.
but we grew into a time where full lips are what people want. So, I mean, isn't that crazy how times change and what's supposedly attract? There was a time where my body size, which is currently a size 20, I vacillate between an 18 and 20, would have been worshiped and adored. It was like and somebody of a smaller stature would have been like ugh,
Right,
shunned.
right.
And and it's so crazy how when times change, our tastes change. But do our tastes really change, or are we just told that's what we're supposed to like, so we fall
Mm,
into that?
I think that's part of the problem.
When you find your true authenticity, whether you're a man or a woman, can you just look at something and be like, I'm actually attracted to that, whether or not I'm supposed to be?
Right, exactly. And so this is really important to pay attention to what when we look at ourselves, like when we look at ourselves in the mirror.
Yep.
And I do these mantras, I love I call it my temple, or container. I love my container. I am fully embracing all that I have. I'm so grateful that I have complete 100% health. I go into these beliefs and these mantras that make me really appreciate the goodness that I am. Yeah. And
And you
that's
know,
not an
Melissa,
egotistical thing. It's
no,
really
not at all.
appreciating.
I think we were, especially women, we were brought
Oh
up in our
gosh.
age range. We were brought up from a time
Mm,
that it was wrong to like yourself. It was wrong to think that your butt was pretty. It was wrong. You must be smaller. You must be tinier. You must be thinner. If your butt's too big, you're not worthy. And it's like, I'm not saying those are your exact experiences or mine. I'm just
right,
throwing those out there. But it's like, we were brought up from a time where if you said, "Hey, I like my body," what did you just say? You
right.
were considered narcissistic or
Egotistical.
improperly.
Yes.
And that is so wrong. Our
Right.
bodies are our temples. They are gifts from our creator. They are
Mm-hmm.
just as valuable as all the beautiful things we see in this earth, the mountains, the sun, the oceans. Your body should be adored just like those things.
Yes. So let's
And
adore
yes, and it's
him.
like I still struggle with a lot too. It's like, oh, my stomach, my arms, my thighs, my feet. My feet are big. I've got God gave me
Mm-hmm.
man feet. I don't know why, but I got a size 10 pair of feet. I got big feet. And it took me so long to come into this place where I'm like, you know what, Don, you have feet. They
Mm,
work well. And even though they've been through ups and downs and they may not be a size 6 foot that's beautiful according to society, you have a strong, sturdy presence and a strong set of
right.
feet. And it's like, I kind of am the same. I vacillate back and forth between, oh, these are the things I don't like, be, and then
Mm-hmm.
back to, but my belly birthed two beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful women, and they're
Mm-hmm.
women now. And my belly, it
Mm-hmm.
feeds me every day and it protects me. And it's like it holds my organs. And there's so many things to actually be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a while to get to that point, but if I focus on those things,
Yes.
then
That's
then it makes me so much more appreciative. And instead of, oh, I got to lose 20 pounds and I gotta look a certain way and I have to fit into those pants or else no. Why? Yes, if you want to, because it
right.
makes you feel better and
That's
it makes
exactly
your body
right.
work better, go for it. But if you're doing it to try to be accepted and loved and find people attracted to you,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you should, I don't know, reevaluate that and sit down with your intentions behind it.
I think it's important for anyone listening to this too, is that to love your body as it is and appreciate, like you and I are both sharing a great deal about this gratitude about
Mhm.
what we have and who we are and what we're carrying around with us. And I think a lot of people feel terrible about the way they look, or I
I
don't.
have seen some of the most
Oof.
beautiful men and women with gorgeous bodies hating themselves. And they're
Mm,
at the gym constantly because they hate themselves instead of
Right.
going to the gym because you love yourself. It's such a different vibe.
Different vibe.
It's like, yes, I do want to still lose some weight. I would love to lose, let's see, what am I am at
Hmm.
about now? 240 I vacillate between 235 and 245. So right now I'm about 240. I would love to be back down to 180. I would love to have a flat belly and firmer, muscular. But also if I was to spend the rest of my life where I am today, could I be
Yeah,
happy with it? Yeah, I actually
sure.
could be.
That's a big plus for everyone listening because it is so feeling good about who you
Mhm,
are, isn't it?
mhm.
Not about what you look like. I mean, although it is nice. I mean, we dress nice, right? We present well. We're professional. So, also with that being said, I like my holy pajamas and my holy sweats,
Oh,
and so appreciate baggy clothes.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love my I'm a Cancer. I love my frumpy self. I don't care. People will be like, get all dressed up, put on some makeup. And I'm like, okay, when I feel like it. Right now, I'm
Right?
comfortable. You know,
Exactly.
I'm not afraid to make content with no makeup on. Sometimes I put it on, sometimes I don't. I'm not worried. I'm me. Whatever feels good to
And you
me.
are beautiful.
And you are too.
Right
Two
back
beautiful
at
mamas.
you.
All right. So we have, how does my current attitude towards my self-worth affect my family? So what would you say your
Mm.
current self-worth attitude affects those people around you in your family?
Mm. Yeah, I find that I'm being a little bit more critical about them than myself, which is unusual. Well, not unusual. I think it's like we've shared about this before
Yes, we
with
have.
people that I have having addiction issues with certain things, and me being worried about that. So,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then their bodies are breaking down, and there's all these health issues due to their addictions of choice, and so
And that is valid to be concerned for people
yeah.
around you, especially if you see them making choices that are possibly harming themselves. But
Hmm.
I think one of the things we talked about is, are we coming at it from a place of love, or are we coming at it from a place of criticalness? Because I
Hmm.
promise you, if you're coming at it the way I was brought up, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to look better, get out there and exercise.
It
If you
looked
want
like
that
it, you
glass of
know.
milk, run around the room. It's like, are you
Oh.
kidding me? That actually chased me further into eating
Mm.
disorders and hating my body. And if it would have just been like, sure, if you want a glass of milk, go have one,
Right.
and oh, you feel like you're a little chubby. Well, what would you like to do? I'll support you in whatever you think you want to do to work on that.
Loving.
Two totally different. Yeah, one's loving and one
One
is
is
literally an enemy. And I already have enough of those in my personalities.
right. Exactly right. So I don't know how I would answer that other than that's kind of where the focus is. I feel like I'm doing a lot of,
Well, let me
uh,
ask it a different way. How do
hmm.
you think you present yourself involving your self-worth? How do you think other people in your family see you, and how do you
Oh,
think that
that's
affects
interesting.
them just by observing how you are with your self-worth?
Hmm. I think, we haven't really talked about it, but I think that I would say a couple of my siblings would say they probably appreciate the changes without, I know one of them wouldn't really say that. Actually, a couple of them probably wouldn't. I think they appreciate the changes they've seen because I was in that depression for so long. And with that depression came self abuse.
Have you noticed that the people in your family who maybe were witnessing the self-abuse that you used to go through and the changes now where you're more positive and loving towards yourself and more disciplined towards yourself, would you say maybe any of that's rubbed off on any of their behaviors? Maybe they haven't even told you
Mm,
that, but do you
yeah.
suspect any of it has?
I think intuitively I feel that it has.
I think
Hmm.
that's how we as humans of a source creator, really, if we could tap into leading that way in life,
Hmm.
I think it would alleviate so much more. Instead of me saying you need to lose weight, I just need to do the best I can to eat right and exercise and take care of my body. And hopefully you'll see that and be like, gosh, she's doing such a good job. I'm inspired. Now I want to do it.
And that's perfectly well said because that's what they say in recovery is when you're trying to get people to quit doing addictions. So they
Just walk
suggest
the
that
walk.
just walk the walk.
Yep. Just
And
walk the
and
walk.
once they see you're changing and you're doing healthy things, then it might rub off on them. But they don't
And then
want to
if they
hear the
come to you and
criticism
say,
or
hey,
anything.
how are you doing it? That's a whole different thing. Now
That's
you
a
can
whole
say,
different thing.
I'm eating this way, I'm exercising, this is what's working for me. Maybe some of that'll help
Exactly.
you if you try it.
If you're interested, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
What about you?
My self-worth affect my family. So I do struggle. Let me make sure I word this properly. I
Mm-hmm.
am healing from a lot of
Mm-hmm.
mental health issues,
Mm-hmm.
and I traditionally can go into deep, dark times, and
Mm-hmm.
then in those times I can be bit more pessimistic, a bit more self-loathing.
I
And
hear
I
you.
do feel that my family can feel that and they can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I feel it affects them? I have to be honest. I think my youngest daughter, she can separate from it. So sometimes when she's feeling strong in her life, she'll come in and just be supportive. And then when she's going through her own stuff, she just pulls back.
Mm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
think how I
Yeah.
behave affects her. She's very strong. She's a Capricorn, very strong, and she's got her own
Mm-hmm.
way. And then my sister, also a very strong. She's a Taurus, very strong, and I think she kind of does her own thing too. So I don't feel it affects them as much. I do feel
Mm-hmm.
it might affect my granddaughter, though. She's 3.5 years old, and I can see that if I'm choosing wisely and doing things good, she wants to do the same. She wants to follow. And so it goes
Mm-hmm.
back to that. How am I going to be so that I'm a good reflection for the people around me, so that I'm a good leader? I mean, technically, she's not my daughter, so I don't have to lead. But if she's in my care, I still want
Mm-hmm.
to take on leading.
Mm-hmm.
And this just doesn't even just go for 3-year-olds, it goes for anybody around us. So,
Anybody around us.
I mean, I don't think my
Absolutely.
self-worth really affects them too much. I do know that when I'm feeling very strong and powerful and I'm eating right and I'm feeling great about myself, I do see them glean that though. I can they just love it. They eat it up. They're all
Yeah.
there for it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's awesome. We're done with the questions. I don't know if you
Yeah.
wanted to add anything just before we move into reflections, but that's a lot of questions we went through. I mean, haven't actually gone through and counted, but we're looking at one, two, 3 pages
What
of
would you say you have
questions.
learned about the subject of self-worth, or what have
Mm.
you learned about yourself relating to the subject of self-worth? And not just doing this, just in life in general.
Oh gosh, increased awareness of myself and really appreciating where I was and where I am is
Mm,
what I've noticed about, when I think about the journey of self-worth from all the way to young years, all the way to now, going through all that stuff I went through as a young adult. I appreciate how I am taking care of my thoughts and how I'm taking care of my life, and how, the decisions I'm making is based out of love, not out of fear.
out of love and not out of fear. That's huge. That's huge. Whether it's for yourself and your own self-worth, or whether it's for how we're going to relate and communicate with those around us, because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's leading by example. It is, whether
Yes.
you're a Christian and you're following Jesus, whether you're following Buddha, whether you're not following any of it, and maybe you identify as a witch, a pagan belief, whatever it
Mm.
is that
Yeah.
you choose to believe in, I believe
Exactly.
most of these beliefs come back to just being the best you can be to yourself and others. And just for me, I happen to believe in source energy, but I believe in
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. And for me, that's integrating that grace and love and
Mm.
learning how to show it to myself, but also just allowing it to flow out into the world, into other people, and
Oh,
not
that's
having to go
beautiful.
around being, oh, Jesus this, Jesus that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that if people are doing that. I'm just
Right.
saying I don't have to do that because I just
Mm-mm.
live it. I just,
Right.
Jesus wants me to love my neighbors, so I just love my neighbors. I don't have to run around screaming it from the mountaintop.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's just integration.
Mm.
For me, the self-worth, what I've learned about myself in the last 53 years and doing
Mm-hmm.
exercises like this repeatedly over the last, 6 or 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
is that absolutely no other being on this planet gets to tell me what my self-worth is.
Mm.
Absolutely no other creation has the right to tell me, other than source energy and downloads I get from that. But self-worth is an internal thing, and I get to determine that. And whether I weigh 240 pounds or 165 pounds, or
Mm-hmm.
whether I am, 25 or 55, my self-worth is determined by how much I love myself. The more I love myself, my value and worth go up. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, not
Mm-hmm.
allowing anybody, no matter who they are, to tell me differently has been the biggest thing. Because no matter who
Mm-hmm.
you are and how strong your self-worth is, you walk out that door, there's going to be somebody that goes, "Oh, you chose to wear that." Instantly, they're trying to attack your self-worth, whether they know that or not. And
Right.
it's like going, "Yep, and I love it. How are you today?" And
Yeah, absolutely.
just,
Just just
you hit
yeah,
it
right,
off. You
right.
don't.
It's like it's not the what is the Teflon versus the right the Velcro.
Yes,
you're not gonna let it stick to you, right?
gonna let it slide right off with that Teflon instead of that Velcro.
Yeah. And the
Absolutely.
other thing that I found really interesting in some of these questions too, and also relating to abuse, and that I know that over the years I felt like I was people pleasing to the point of my own detriment, and I didn't want to cause conflict or have conflict happen. So then I would go along with things. It took a little while to realize what was not healthy because
So
a lot of the role models
I
around me were
see that
not
a lot. I see that a
healthy.
lot. I was recently someplace with another person, and
Mm-hmm.
there I'm like, I just speak up and I just ask for what I want, and I'm like, "Hey, how about this?" And I could see that other person kind of getting timid because
Mm-hmm.
they don't, just be quiet. Don't upset anybody. Don't turn up the
Mm-hmm.
volume too loud. Don't speak too loud. I don't want to up. And so for me, I could instantly sense whatever they went through in their life. They maybe went through a lot of shame with those things, so they learned how to just be
Uh-huh.
quiet and pleasing. And I'm like, "Psh, I'm sorry, I'm not here to please others. I'm here to please me." And now, if my actions are aligned,
Mm-hmm.
they should naturally please others because I'm just
Mm.
naturally walking in a loving way. But that's not my goal. And
Well,
so I can sense it around people, can't you?
yeah, oh, for sure. And also, it's just the stuff that we went through, when we had abuse situations happening in our
Hmm.
lives, personally being abused. And you and
Oh,
I
and
both
actually,
have.
that person had severe abuse in their life.
Mm,
So it does make me
more
understand when I
aware.
see it, yeah, why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, I can see that a lot of that going on in the world. But here's the thing, no matter how much we've gone through in our life,
Right.
and no matter where you are in your healing journey or your recovery journey, the thing to remember is you have everything inside of you
Mm,
to heal and get back to your authentic self. And
mm-hmm.
nobody else gets to determine who you are or how you should be. And I hope if you're listening to this, you can just understand that
Mm-hmm.
and just give yourself that grace.
Give yourself the grace.
Mhm.
And again, pay attention. It's very important to pay attention to people that you hang out with, or organizations that you may be part of, or maybe there's something going on, there's people in the organization that feel abusive.
Mhm.
Like Don was saying, sit in that grounded place from coming from a love perspective, and then maybe not spending time around those particular people in the organization that you like being part of,
I think when we get to the
right?
point, I've known people who are like, yeah, but I've been here for 17 years, and so they put up with this abusive job position or this relationship. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, well, I understand that. Here's the thing, are you happy? And the answer is always
Mm,
no. And it's like, okay, well, you only get one life.
live
We
it fully.
are at this time so far in a free country where we can make the changes we want to make us happy. And why
Mm,
wouldn't we take advantage of that? I'm
exactly.
not telling anybody to go get divorced or quit their job. What I'm telling you is to reevaluate what makes you happy in this world and sit with that
Absolutely.
for a minute. Make a list. Make a
Right.
list. And if compare it to your life, and if the things that make you happy and what you actually have in your life aren't aligning, maybe it's time to make small changes, little bitty ones at a
Yeah,
time.
right. I,
Or maybe it's time to make a huge change all at once, but whatever it is for you guys.
pull the ship and travel on the
Yep.
ocean
Yep.
and keep going.
Yep.
You just never know.
I am telling you, I can't wait for a time where my life is aligned, where I could just
Mm,
say, Melissa, let's go on a small cruise. Let's just go for a
let's
small cruise
just
for a couple days. And you're like, okay, let's do it.
let's go.
That's the life I want to become. I don't need to be rich, but I would like to be comfortable and be able to say, hey, let's just go here for a little bit and enjoy.
Yeah.
Or let's just
Hey,
go to a hot cave or not
right.
a crystal cave or hot
That's right. And
springs
go,
or
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Make it
just enjoy.
so. So get
Yep.
on the train and come see me, or I'll get on the
Oh,
train
and
and
there
go see
actually
you,
is one, I
or
think, that goes from Colorado to California,
the Zephyr.
is to Denver.
Yes, it's beautiful. The
Yes.
one that comes from Colorado, well, actually it leaves, I think it goes into Sacramento.
Hmm.
And it leaves Sacramento. It's beautiful. Oh, it's one of the most beautiful train
I'm
rides
gonna
I've
have to
ever
look
been
into
on.
it. I'm gonna have to look into it.
Yeah. Well,
We're
in the
still trying to find a
meantime,
job right now, but
yeah,
once we get
well,
back to work,
in the meantime, I think that I'm pretty proud of us for getting through this and being able to talk about this. And we're just going to keep on and moving through what rings the bell for us. And when we were talking about this earlier about how we're reevaluating, we're not necessarily walking away from 12 step, but we're moving into true balance. This is part of this. I mean, this is actually kind of coincides a little bit with what we're doing.
it actually does. And so one thing
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate about our relationship, Melissa, is that I believe we're both at that place in our enlightenment journey, or whatever words you want to
Mm-hmm.
put on it, our growth journey, where it doesn't have to be this or that. It's like it can be
Mm-hmm.
both. It
It
can
can be
be.
both.
I
Mm-hmm.
can I can follow step work and chakra work, and I'm able to see how they actually align.
Mm-hmm.
And um, not everybody's there yet, though. Sometimes
No,
it's like I can only do this, and that's
one
fine.
thing.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful too.
for
But
sure.
Melissa and I will be exploring a little bit of everything here.
Yes, and so this is the next thing that we're looking at is true balance.
Yeah. Do you
And
want to maybe do a real small reading out of the beginning introduction just for anybody who's still with us that
yeah,
might
sure.
want to see
Well,
what's upcoming?
okay, so where should we start? Here in the West, we think of ourselves as solid bodies, but Eastern thinking correctly perceives us being more ethereal. That's a hard word to say. When Hindus visualize thinking, when Hindus visualize a human being, they visualize our seven separate but interconnected centers of energy, each remaining a certain center of human well-being. To the rational Western mind, the idea of such energy centers seems far fetched, yet our own language accurately reflects our instinctive awareness of these psychic centers. We say, for example, he's a pain in the neck of someone who affects our throat. This actually is of someone who affects our throat chakra by making us speechless with rage. She galls me of the coworker who affects our third chakra by overriding our authority and ignoring our decision. Or he knocks me off my feet of the new lover who overwhelms our routine and threatens our first chakra, our foundation, causing us to feel underground. This energy system governs our energetic and psychic well being. It includes our foundation and survival instincts, our vitality and emotional sensations, our sovereignty, our ability to give and receive love and create new opportunities.
I love that. I love that so much. And it is. We actually are already intuitively talking about it and we're not even aware of it, but you also are intuitively healing yourself and not even aware of it. When I get a headache, I just put my hand up here. When my heart hurts or I'm sad, I put my hand here. When I have a stomach ache, I put both of my hands down here. And it's like there are so many times we are already doing
Mm-hmm.
everything that these things teach about because it is chakra work. It is energy level work.
And it's been
And
around a long time,
yeah, it
a
has
lot
been.
longer than Western medicine. So,
So if you're open to hearing different perspectives, we'd love to have you join us next time we post. And yeah, let's see where this takes us. I'm excited. What about you?
yeah, me too. I'm open and excited as well. So, okay, we'll say bye for now, and then we'll stop the recording.